But first, to break down the polls as we enter the final few days of the campaign, let's bring in RedBridge director, Samaras. Well, square this circle for me if you can. How can a majority of people say Albanese doesn't deserve a second term, but look like they might vote him in anyway?
Yeah, this is the thing about every poll I'm looking at, including our own. The Labor primary is a little bit above what it was in 2022. Coalition primary is about the same, so mid-30s. Labor primary, low 30s, probably the highest I've seen it is at 34. And then we get an interesting interpretation of what everyone else is doing. And that's where I think some of the polls are going to miss out reading what's going to happen in certain seats. And that other vote's going to be incredibly impactful. It will be more profound and probably in favour of the LNP in Queensland and parts of regional New South Wales, less in favour of the LNP or the coalition in urban settings like in Sydney and Melbourne. So we're going to get a very patchy result. And I don't think we're doing justice to those Australians who are planning to vote for other minor parties by basically just looking at that two-party preferred vote for both majors, because that's not where the result's going to land.
Okay, so preferences are key, absolutely
Yes.
key. Do you think we'll get a result on the night?
We'll have a pretty good idea as to who's going to be closest, who's going to be in the best position to form government, I think, by that night. Unless, of course, per the coalition's, I'd say backgrounding, but, their strategy, which is those votes they have lost to minor parties. Because this is the thing about the story about this campaign is that we haven't seen many gains by Labor. It's been mainly what the coalition's lost. So if you lose them, it's probably easier for you to get them back rather than get them back from the other side or pinch them from the other side. It's just a lot easier to encourage people who are planning not to vote for you but were going to vote for you 4 weeks ago. So that could actually happen, and we could have a situation where the coalition ends up in the mid-60s to high 60s, and then we're having a very different conversation. But this is how precariously balanced the whole thing is at the moment.
What about the Liberals telling me that in Victoria, Jacinta Allen is still their best asset, particularly in those outer Melbourne peri-urban seats? Is this still true, do you think?
Well, Peter Dutton was in Melton on the weekend, and, I made this point during the weekend that if you had told me 20 years ago that the coalition would be having a major campaign event in Melton, I would have thought that you were crazy. But that is the fact now, and it's the reality that Labor has to face. And that is it a manifestation of the Victorian government? Yeah, in part, sure. But I think what has been going on in Melbourne's western suburbs is in the making for over a decade. Some of us have been issuing the warning signs of that for a long time.
You have.
And now we're going to see a situation come Saturday as to what that looks like, because Hawke has consistently reported very big swings against Labor in all our research, and nothing's changed to this day.
Yeah, I think there's a few of those. It'll be very, very interesting, and it will not be uniform on Saturday night.
Right.
Thank you for your time.